Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome to my Yusuke build guide for Persona 5 Royal. This is the fourth in a series of 8 guide videos I'm going to be making for Persona 5 Royal, where I'll be going over all party members, best equipment, Persona skill set, best way to use them, as well as discussing the best parties each party member fits into. Due to not wanting to be executed by Great Leader Atlas, the footage you are seeing will be mostly from before the third semester added into Royal. However, I will be showing off the third Persona evolution for Yusuke and discussing the new skill that comes from it. Some of the skills from the Jazz Club that are only found in the third semester, talking about some enemies that drop specific pieces of equipment that are only found in the final dungeon, and there will also be some third semester party spoilers shown, so viewer discretion is advised. I will be talking about some items obtained from DLC personas, however I will provide non-DLC alternatives where relevant. Also, I am assuming you have downloaded the Legacy DLC pack because why would you not? So away with the intro and on with the video. On equipment, Yusuke's best melee weapon is the Isumi A, which is acquired by itemizing Yoshitsune, the level 87 Tower persona Drone Alarm. It has the highest damage out of all of Yusuke's weapons, and has the additional effect of a high chance of fear. This additional effect synergizes really well with Yusuke's kit, as once you have read Knowing the Heart, which is available for purchase from Jimbocho once you have read all the books from Jimbocho, Ice, the element that Yusuke uses, becomes a technical proc for fear, enabling you to knock down enemies that may not be weak to anything else if you manage to get a fear proc off. His best range weapon is the Provenance, customized for maximum damage, which is acquired by itemizing Uriel, the level 81 Justice persona Drone Alarm. It provides the highest attack value out of all of Yusuke's range weapons, and provides plus 13 to Yusuke's agility stat. As I've stated in the previous videos in the series, party members lack the ability to get additional stats once they're at 99, so getting any kind of additional stats is incredibly valuable, but this is especially useful in Yusuke, who already has such a high natural agility stat, and a kit that encourages evasion. The best armor for Yusuke is a Tantric Oath R, acquired by itemizing Satan, the level 92 Judgment persona Drone Alarm. You do need to be a max confidant run with Judgment in order to fuse Satan, however this is naturally achieved through story progression. It provides the highest defense value out of all male armor sets, and a decent evasion rate to boot. It also provides the additional effect of reducing all magic damage dealt to the wielder by a high amount. Good to note here that Yusuke's high native agility stat and evasion based kit can lead to Yusuke dodging more often than not, so the option is open to run something with a higher evasion stat on it over this, such as the Official's Robe R, which I do not have here, but that is acquired by itemizing Akuni Nushi, the level 54 Faith persona Drone Alarm, or the Weird Wrap, which provides 20 evasion. I believe you get this from one of the requests. Now onto accessories. Like a broken record, the best is the Shinabout R, required from itemizing the DLC persona Izanagi no Okami Drone Alarm. It provides a passive 7 SP regen per turn and increases all stats by 3, both very useful for your party considering their lack of easy access to SP regen and stat boosts. If you like the DLC, the backup option is the SP Adhesive 3 purchased from the Takemi Medical Clinic for 100,000 yen once you reach rank 5 in her Confidant, providing the passive SP gen but lacking the stat boost. Other alternatives are the Crystal Skull R, acquired by itemizing the Treasure persona Crystal Skull Drone Alarm, which is found in the lower areas of Mementos once the Shido dungeon has been completed. This provides a plus 6 in all stats and increases evasion against all magical attacks except Omari, which stacks very nicely with Yusuke's naturally high evasion. The Team Glasses, which is here, and C's Armband, which provide a 15% EXP boost and a 15% money boost respectively. The Arm PC, which provides a plus 3 to all stats and a 20 SP boost. This is kind of like a poor man's version of the Shinabout R. The Gauntlet, which increases evasion crypts and magic, again, synergizes really well with Yusuke's really naturally high evasion rate. And finally, the Kuzunoha tubes, which provide a mini Arms Master and Spellmaster effect, reducing HP and SP skill cost by 25%. All of these, besides the Crystal Skull, are from the Legacy DLC pack and can be found in the cardboard box in Jugger's room once downloaded. Now for the Persona build. Yusuke is your secondary physical damage dealer, with a side helping of magic and heavy evasion. His trait Scoundrel Eyes provides a chance for allies to avoid physical attacks, supporting his evasion nicely. He actually has the highest strength stat in the game, and his magic stat is only second worst to compensate. His endurance stat is the third highest in the game, and his agility is the second best. The gap between him and the best, who is Makoto, is slim enough that it may as well be the best, considering Yusuke's evasion in his kit is really high as it is. His luck is the absolute bottom of the barrel. With this in mind, the skills you want on Yusuke are Brave Blade, Vorpal Blade, Bufudine, Charge, Masuku Kadra, High Counter, and Evade Fire. Now delving deeper into this, Brave Blade and Vorpal Blade are your typical single target and AoE respective physical skills, which will be used liberally to deal Yusuke's great physical damage. Charge, a new skill in Royal acquired from a Jazz Club event on the 4th of September, is a typical boost Yusuke's physical damage, and what really makes Yusuke actually worth using in Royal compared to his base game counterpart, as it makes his whole kit actually worthwhile and strong, as he lacked access to this in the base game. While Bufudine and Bufudine are your typical magic skills in Yusuke's specific flavor of ice. Unfortunately for Yusuke, as his magic stat is as low as it is, and his complete lack of any boost or amp skills to buff his magic damage, these are strictly used for the knockdown, or potential freeze procs, as this is basically never gonna do any amount of worthwhile damage. Masuku Kaja is probably Yusuke's best skill, providing an AoE buff to both hit rate and evasion. Combine this with Ryuji's Mataro Kaja and Makoto's Maroka Kaja, and you have one of the most potent effects in the game, basically providing an AoE Heat Riser, something rare and pretty gimmicky to set up even for Joker, unless you turn to DLC. High Counter it's a filler skill. 20% chance to reflect physical attacks is really not that valuable. It's pretty bad, in fact. When reflect skills just exist, and is even less valuable on Yusuke when he has such a high evasion rate. And finally, Evade Fire is your typical weakness dodge ability in Yusuke's flavor of fire. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, much like ARM, though there are skills pre-third semester that Yusuke could benefit from, the skills he learns in the third semester are just so much more valuable that any of those that are pre-third semester, you're just better off waiting till then to swap things out. As in the third semester, we will see that Yusuke's build is filled out rather nicely. In the third semester, Yusuke's persona will evolve into its third form, Gorokichi, and his trait will change into Unparalleled Eyes, which, while its description may be a little confusing when trying to figure out what the difference is between this and the older one, it just increases the chances of the evasion proccing. He also learns the ability Hyaraka Ryoran. I probably butchered that, which is plain and simple an AoE Heat Riser. This new skill is flat out fantastic, as AoE Heat Risers are very rare and typically require very specific trait setups to get working properly on Joker if you don't want to resort to buying DLC. It does come burdened with a very high 90 SP skill cost, so this is something you'd really want to or can feasibly spam. However, as Yusuke doesn't have much use for his SP besides charge, and his shiny bout R regenerating some SP per turn, it's not quite as steep as it may seem. There are also 2 Jazz Club events, one on the 15th of January for Ali Dance, a fantastic skill that just stacks even more evasion onto Yusuke, and even extends some of it towards the rest of the party by greatly reducing the accuracy of foes. And on the 22nd of January for Arms Master, which will just make Yusuke bleed less when using his primary damaging physical moves, enabling him to spam more before healing. Now, I do need to note here that Arms Master is also something that you might want on a Regi as well. So if you're not going into New Game Plus, there is a decision to be made here on which party member you want this on. Personally, as Ryuji's endurance is so high already, I would give it to Yusuke. He will benefit a bit more from it as his HP pool is lower. Replace the filler skills in Yusuke's kit like High Counter, as it's not really a great skill at all. Bufudine, as you will be using Yusuke's magic only for the knockdowns, which are better used in AoE situations, hence keeping them out Bufudine. And Masuku Kaja. Now, I'm going to talk a little on the replacement of Masuku Kaja. Masuku Kaja is a great skill. I said it was probably the best skill in Yusuke's kit. However, in the cases when you want to use it, as though evasion is good, out of the 3 buffs in the game, it is the least useful and the least used. So I think it's better just to trade out, a high SP cost and just get all 3 buffs instead of just getting the evasion, which is just less useful. Obviously, this is a new game, not a new game plus. You can also just give Ryuji Arms Master instead of Yusuke, so you can keep Masuka Kaja, giving them options select between, I just want the SP, the SP cost is too high, so I want to use Masuka Kaja, or like you're running him with Ryuji and Makoto, so you're getting Maruka Kaja and Mataro Kaja, so you can already get a pretty easily accessible Heat Riser effect. But I still think for general users, especially if this is New Game Plus, this is the better choice for him. Party comps, Yusuke's physical focus should expand enough in the types of parties he wants to be placed in, so pair him with Ryuji, Makoto, Sumire, Haru, and Akechi. As I stated in the Ryuji guide, Makoto, Yusuke, and Ryuji makes for one of the strongest parties in the game, each providing one of the 3 buffs in the game, opening up for a free Heat Riser. Additionally, in the 3rd semester, the AoE Debilitate provided by Makoto, AoE Heat Riser provided by Yusuke, and AoE Charge provided by Ryuji leads to some very potent physical damage deterrents, leading to some pretty massive damage numbers. Sumire can be subbed in replacing Makoto to add some crit to this team, and to stack on the ally dances, leading to even more invasiveness and potentially even more damage than with Makoto due to the crits provided by the enhanced crit chance from Sumire's Brave stat. Akechi can also sub in for Makoto, which, while losing the ability to AoE Debilitate, Akechi can still single target Debilitate, and unlike Makoto, he can take advantage of the AoE charge that Ryuji dishes out to the party to deal some great physical or gun damage using his Leviathan or Rag Gun. Haru is the final option here, providing the team with some defensive support in the form of her Life Wall while being able to take advantage of the AoE charge. Yusuke is one of the best party members in the game, and one that got the biggest buff coming off of the base game. In P5 Vanilla, Yusuke was quite possibly the worst party member, because of his lackluster physical damage compared to Ryuji considering his lack of charge, and really bad magic damage because of his rather low magic stack and lack of any boost to them. However, in Royal, his access to charge and his AoE Heat Riser in the 3rd semester has buffed him so much that he is shot right to the top. His evasiveness is fantastic, leading to having really great survivability and staying power, even when he may be bleeding because of his physical skills. And with charge, his damage is comparable to straight up just superior to Ryuji's in some cases, making him an irreplaceable party member. Once more, his team support is almost unmatched with his AoE Heat Riser, something so rare in this game to have, that its high SP cost isn't even something to consider. And that brings us to an end. Thanks for watching. Next one up is Makoto the Biker Queen, so hopefully I'll see you then. Peace.